So this video might surprise some people. Because if you know me, you probably know I genuinely love the Assassin's Creed games. I'm not making this video as someone who hates the franchise. I'm making it as someone who grew up with it. Honestly, Assassin's Creed was one of the games that got me into gaming in the first place. Before that, most games I played were just generic stuff like football games, FIFA, racing games, things like that. Fun games, but nothing that really pulled me into a world. But then one day my brother was playing the first Assassin's Creed. I hadn't even started high school yet. And I remember he got called away to do chores or something, and he told me, "Just watch the game for me. Don't do any missions." Then he quickly showed me the controls. That was it. And I was hooked. For like 3 hours straight, I just ran around the city free running, climbing buildings, fighting guards, jumping across rooftops. I'd never experienced anything like it before. That feeling of freedom, it blew my mind. And looking back now, that moment genuinely shaped my love for gaming. Then Assassin's Creed 2 came out. I was around 13 years old and got it for Christmas. And I'm not even exaggerating, I played it for like 8 hours straight. Ezio, the music, Venice, Florence, the atmosphere. That game has a special place in my heart to this day. So before anyone says you're just hating on the games, no. I have nostalgia for this franchise. A lot of nostalgia. But as I got older, I started noticing things. Because I've been Christian my whole life. But when you're younger, you don't always fully understand what you're consuming. You don't really think deeply about themes, ideology, messaging, or worldview. But as I got older and my faith became more serious to me, I started seeing Assassin's Creed differently. And I slowly realized something. These games are very anti-religion, and especially anti-Christianity. Now, before people instantly get defensive, let me explain properly. I'm not saying Ubisoft developers are sitting there twirling mustaches trying to destroy Christianity. That's not what I mean. What I mean is the core philosophy and worldview of Assassin's Creed consistently undermines Christianity and strips away the foundation of the faith. And one of the biggest examples of this is how the series treats Jesus. Because in Assassin's Creed, miracles are not really miracles. They're explained away through ancient technology. The whole franchise is built around the idea that gods, prophets, miracles, and religious experiences are actually connected to the Isu, this hyper-advanced precursor civilization. So instead of divine power, it becomes technology. Instead of God, it becomes aliens basically. And this is where I started having issues. Because Christianity is built on the divinity of Jesus Christ. Not just Jesus being a wise teacher. Not just a prophet. Not just a good man. Christianity teaches that Jesus is God incarnate. That his miracles were real divine acts. That the resurrection truly happened. That he is the Son of God. But Assassin's Creed takes those ideas and reframes them into science fiction. It says, what if these miracles weren't from God? What if religion came from misunderstanding advanced beings and technology? And that completely changes the meaning of Christianity. In the games, religion is often portrayed as a tool for control. You constantly hear variations of, nothing is true, everything is permitted. Templars are often heavily connected to organized religion. The church is usually portrayed as corrupt or manipulative. And to be fair, yes, humans in religion can absolutely become corrupt. Christians know this. Humans fail constantly. But Assassin's Creed doesn't just criticize corrupt people. It questions the actual truth of Christianity itself. That's the difference. And over time, I started noticing how common this theme is in entertainment in general. Not just Assassin's Creed. A lot of media is comfortable questioning Christianity specifically. They'll reinterpret Jesus, reimagine scripture, turn biblical miracles into mythology or metaphor. And after a while, you start noticing a pattern. Now again, I want to be careful here. I'm not saying every Christian should instantly boycott Assassin's Creed. That's not this video. I'm not here telling you, if you play this game, you're a bad Christian. Because I still think people can play games while understanding the themes critically. I think there's a difference between consuming media and agreeing with everything it teaches. But I do think Christians should be mindful, because media influences people more than we realize, especially when you're younger. I adored these games as a kid, and I never once stopped to think, wait, what worldview is this actually pushing? And that matters, because stories shape how people think about truth, morality, history, religion, identity, all of it. And Assassin's Creed absolutely pushes a worldview, one where religion is often deception, one where humanity creates its own truth, one where divine things are reduced to ancient technology. And the older I got, the more uncomfortable I became with that, especially because Christianity is not just one mythology to me. It's my faith. It's truth. And I think sometimes Christians become so used to entertainment mocking or undermining Christianity that we stop noticing it. We just accept it as normal. Now don't get me wrong, I still think the Assassin's Creed games have incredible qualities. The historical settings are amazing. The music is incredible. The worlds are immersive. Assassin's Creed 2, especially, is still one of my favorite games ever made. Ezio is iconic. And I'd honestly be lying if I said these games didn't mean something to me growing up. But nostalgia doesn't mean I ignore problems. And I think it's okay to love aspects of something while also recognizing issues within it. You don't have to pretend something is spiritually neutral. And honestly, I think this applies to a lot of entertainment. Everything carries ideas and beliefs underneath the surface. Sometimes subtly, sometimes aggressively. And I think Christians should develop discernment instead of blindly consuming everything. I'm not making this video to spread panic or outrage. I'm just sharing my perspective as someone who grew up loving this franchise and later realized how deeply anti-Christian some of its themes really are. And maybe some people watching will disagree with me, that's fine. But I think it's hard to deny that Assassin's Creed consistently reduces Christianity and religion into political systems, manipulation, or misunderstood technology. That's baked into the DNA of the franchise. And once you see it, you can't really unsee it. At least I couldn't. And honestly, this journey kind of mirrors growing up in general. When you're a kid, you just consume things. As you mature, you start examining them. You start asking, what is this actually saying? What worldview is this teaching me? What does this believe about God? And for me, Assassin's Creed became one of those franchises where eventually I had to acknowledge, yeah, this really does conflict with Christianity in a lot of ways. But again, I'm not your pastor. I'm not telling you what games you can or can't play. I'm simply saying, be aware, be mindful, think critically about the media you consume instead of just absorbing it unconsciously. Because entertainment is never just entertainment. Stories shape people, they always have. Anyway guys, that's my thoughts on it. And honestly, despite everything I've said, part of me will probably always remember being that kid running around in Assassin's Creed 1 for the first time, completely amazed. That memory's always gonna be there. But now I look at the franchise with different eyes. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you think Christians should approach games like this differently? I'm interested to hear your perspective. And yeah, thanks for watching.